Hi, I'm Sharon Burns, owner and operator at RX Catering in the DC metro area. And we're here to cook with Sharon. Oh my God, you guys, look. I know you're probably wondering, just based upon what's on this counter, what we're making today. Well, I like Tito's and I love seafood. So why not make a vodka seafood pasta? So simple, and it's going to be delicious. So let's just go over the ingredients for today. We have shrimp. I have some lump crab. You can actually add in some other seafood if you wanted, scallops, lobster tail. But today we're just going to stick with these two. Shrimp, I have raw deveined, like extra large shrimp, and like I said, lump jumbo crab meat. This is about 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. Here, I also have some fresh basil, of course, butter, minced garlic, as you know, it's a favorite of mine, some diced onions, and then heavy cream. So, unfortunately, this is not going to be the most healthy recipe today, but you know, we got to cheat sometimes, and it's okay to do it occasionally, just in moderation. So, let's get started. We're going to take just about over medium heat, just about, I would say, a tablespoon or so of butter, maybe two. We gotta make it good. And we're going to melt that along. We're gonna saute some, like I said, some diced yellow onions. Put that in. It's about, I would say this is about 1.5 cups of yellow onions, I'm sorry. And we're going to saute this down so it's like a translucent texture for our onions. I'll just add a little bit more. You never can go wrong with onions. Okay. And you see all the ingredients here, but one thing that I did not say ahead of time is just select your most favorite pasta. Today I selected fettuccine. I'm sorry, not fettuccine, linguine. Oh my gosh, it's been a long day. Linguine, but you can use regular spaghetti noodles, you can use penne noodles, you can use the roti type of noodles, any type of noodles that you want. I've just opted for this type today because it's one of my favorites. It's standard, it's easy, and you want to make sure that you boil your noodles ahead of time. If you have them ahead of time and sitting off to the side, don't forget to put in olive oil so they don't stick together, and you want to cook them al dente. If you don't know what that means, we'll talk about it in another episode when we talk about pasta. All right, so we are cooking or sauteing our onions, and we are going to momentarily add in our crushed tomatoes. Now, one thing I did not do, you all know here at RX Catering, we always cook with love. Now, I try to, at a certain point, give you specific measurements, but with this sauce, I'm going to cheat a little bit. Not really cheat, but I don't really have measurements. We're going to use probably not too much vodka. I know you guys are probably wondering, oh my God, it's vodka, alcohol. Don't worry. The vodka is actually going to be more for flavor and a kick to our sauce. It'll enhance it, it'll make it even better. So don't worry about the alcohol content in that. That'll be probably about, we'll probably put in a half a cup of vodka, and we'll taste it just to make sure. You're not gonna get drunk off of this, don't worry. But you'd be surprised how many sauces that are made in restaurants actually have some alcohol content to it. The alcohol is just making it pop, the flavor pop. So that's what essentially we're doing with the vodka here. So the onions are sauteing down quite nicely, and we're going to, at this point, because the great thing, you know, I'm not Italian. However, I've been told by some Italians and people that are connoisseurs of Italian food is that the key to this is letting it simmer and actually let it cook slowly. So we're doing this today in a short period of time. You all know I try to provide options that are quick, easy, very delicious, and economical. So we're going to do an abbreviated version of our pasta, of our Italian pasta. If you want the real deal, what can you do? Go to Italy. Or you can go to an authentic Italian restaurant. But we are cooking with love over here, so it's going to be just as good. So let's put our crushed tomato sauce in here. And actually, I think this particular can, you have different options in the grocery store. This particular one actually has some oregano already in it. It has some basil, I believe, and parsley. But you can get regular crushed tomato sauce. And I actually made this last week for one of my friends. And unfortunately, it was a last minute request. So yeah, my friends asked last minute, requests, and I oblige, because I love doing this and I love seeing people enjoy food. So it was no big deal, but I didn't have crushed tomatoes already here. So what I did was, and this is a trick for you at home if you don't already have this, is I have already in the bigger cans diced tomatoes. So I took my can of diced tomatoes, I put them in my food processor just for about maybe no more than 2 or 3 minutes. It's hard to tell you a time, but just I wanted the consistency like this. So you can do the same thing with fresh tomatoes. That's how really homemade pasta sauce is actually made. Tomato sauce is actually made obviously from tomatoes. So you can even start from scratch if you wanted. Ground zero, where you could take fresh tomatoes, boil them down, actually dice and boil them down, put them in a little bit of flavor seasoning, and put them in your food processor. We're cheating a little bit, and that's okay, because we're busy people, we're on the go moms, we're corporate people. We want something simple, easy, and delicious. So this is our cheat. So we're gonna go ahead and add our sauce and cook that in, let it marinate for a little bit. While it is simmering and cooking, we're going to add in some other seasonings like, you guessed right, minced garlic. I probably should have put that in when I was sauteing, but it's okay, I was talking too much. It's all gonna mix in to the flavor and cook in, because we're gonna let this simmer for about 10 minutes. So as this is simmering, put in all of our garlic. I'm going to add in, I want this vodka sauce to have a pop of not only flavor, but a little bit of spice. So I'm going to add in some crushed red pepper. And again, you can do this to your liking. If you want it a lot spicier, you can do that. Or if you have kids at home or someone that just doesn't have, a spicy palate, no problem. Just don't put as much in. So this is going to simmer just a little bit more, and as it's simmering, of course, I'm going to add in a little bit of salt, black pepper, and you all know I hate to do this, but I'm going to add in just a little bit more garlic. It's just granulated garlic. So that's this right here. And I told you that the sauce already had some basil in it. But I mean, heck, you can't go wrong with fresh basil. So I have some more basil here. I'm going to add in. And we're just going to cut it up a little. And we'll put that in. I mean, the more flavor, the better, right? That's what I always say. You don't want bland food. You want to be able to enjoy it. So we have more flavor with the fresh herbs. And if you have this as well, you can, at home, you can put in some oregano. You can also put in, if you have in your shelf Italian seasoning, you can do that as well. Essentially, that was in my tomato, crushed tomatoes, so that was in there already. So we're gonna let that simmer a little bit. And as it's simmering, we're gonna put in the vodka. So I will measure out. I mean, because I'm showing you all, but typically if I'm at home cooking and I'm using this, I'm pouring in, tasting, and seeing how good it is. So again, this is not going to make you intoxicated. I'm telling you, it's more for the flavor, the pop, the zest, you know, it's all good. So we're going to put in probably about a quarter of a cup. This is a half cup measuring. I'm just going to add that in. Let it mix in with the flavors. And then momentarily, you see the shrimp over here. So it's raw shrimp. You all know it's seafood that cooks quickly. The lump crab is already cooked, but we need to make sure that the shrimp is going to be cooked. So we're going to add this to our sauce. It's going to cook within its entirety, probably within, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. Shrimp cooks very quickly. So we have this. I'm going to let it simmer a little bit more. I'm going to add in the shrimp. Let's see. I don't want my hands smelling of seafood all night. So we're going to add in the shrimp and put it probably about like a pound, maybe. However you want it. You know, some people like their pasta very saucy. How we're going to finish this today is I'm going to put the sauce on top. You can take this. This is a great option for you to actually mix in your pasta noodles as well. You can do that. But again, it's your choice. And if you don't have like this, these shrimp right here, I probably could cut them in half. But why? I mean, if you wanted to stretch, you could. But for today and for myself, I think I may eat this tonight for dinner. I want whole big shrimp. So we have that. That's why I ended up adding in the crab meat too. So this is looking awesome. And you can tell already the shrimp, they're not 100% cooked, but trust me, after we add in the crab and this heavy cream, they're going to be good to go. All right, so let's try this out. Now, if you are lactose intolerant, you can't have, you know, any cream, dairy, you know, all that jazz, you could stop here. It's not completely done, but you could stop at this point, and if you wanted to not add in the dairy component, that's cool too. I think I may have put in that crushed pepper, but it's good. I'm going to add in my crab. You can see right now, how do you know when shrimp is cooked? Obviously, you can't really tell because it's in this red sauce, but you can tell, I can see the end of this right here. This is a good indicator. This shrimp right here, you can see it's turning red or pink or orange, whatever. You can tell that it's pretty much almost cooked. So you don't want to undercook unless you're trying to have sushi, and that's not what we're trying to do here. We want to make sure everything is cooked. So we're going to add in, I'm going to add in just a little bit more garlic. And then I'm going to add in my lump crab. This point. Now, this is a premium item. So if you're going to have RX Catering make this, you all know right now, crab is very expensive. But you know what? If you want it, we have it. And we'll make sure that you can enjoy it. But you know what? It may be at a premium price, but it's all good. Hey, you got to live. Have what you want when you want it. We got you covered. All right. So, oh my gosh, this is looking so good with the crab. I'm going to add in just a little bit more because I know once my friends ask me, what'd you make today? They're going to be like, did you save some for me? So, you know what? Let me just use the rest of this. Because I'm going to get some calls. Now, with the lump crab, look, we want to keep it in the bigger format, you know, so we don't want to make it small like, you have special crab, you have crab claw meat. We want to make it so it stays in those big lump pieces. So we're just going to fold it in at this point. We don't want it to be all broken down. Now, this is our heavy cream. I'm going to, Uh-oh. Now we need some more fire. Sorry about that, guys. I thought it was over here simmering, but quick fix. There we go. We're back in business. All right, so we're going to add in our heavy cream. Now, usually this will call for about, I guess, maybe about 6 tablespoons of heavy cream. Well, you all know heavy cream makes everything good. Cheese. So I'm just going to add in a little bit more. So I'm going to eyeball it. This is all with love, and this is going to be the last step before we taste it, of adding in our ingredients. So that was maybe about 3 tablespoons. All right, so this is actually looking very good. I can't wait to eat it. The only thing that I would probably add is a little bit more basil. And we can do that towards the end. But where's my tasting spoon? Okay, so and you can see the shrimp too. It's definitely cooked at this point. But this is some great flavor. I'm going to add just a little bit more vodka. Again, this is to enhance the flavor. You can use any brand that you like. I'm a big fan of Tito's because, you know, if I'm not cooking with it, I'm drinking with it. And so you can do a whole bunch of stuff with that. That's for another time. All right, so this is actually the only thing we're just waiting on right now is for it to simmer just a little bit more. But I'm going to grab some more basil, if you just give me a second, and I'm going to put this on a low heat, let it simmer, because as I said before, you want the flavors to cook through. All right, I'm a huge fan of fresh herbs. I think I told you all that before, so I'm just going to add in some more. And not only for the flavor, but, you know, when you're cooking, you want things to pop. You want to see different colors. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of green. So I want to just add in just a little bit more of my fresh basil. And I think we'll be good to go. All right. So, man, doesn't that look good? I think so. So, if you are interested in trying this recipe out, give it a whirl. If you don't want to do it, you know, at Art's Catering, we got you covered, and you can always let us do the work. But before I plate this up, let's just move a lot of this stuff so you can see. I told you before I use the linguine noodles, and just I'm going to actually top my my pasta with the sauce. Again, this should be something that you can just like cook down for maybe a total of, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. Okay. So a little bit more salt. And I'm sorry, you guys. I do a lot of tasting and while I'm cooking, just as I'm eating, as I'm cooking. And I told you before, you can kind of look at things and see if it needs more flavor, more sauce, whatever. So we are good to go. Just gonna add just a little more heavy cream. And if you want to pair this with something, you can always pair it with, you know, a nice healthy salad. I don't have that today because we're cheating, but we are good to go. And again, if you want to try this at home, do it. It's so simple. And this is something that you can actually meal prep. You can actually make this sauce and portion it out, and then have your noodles ready to go. So again, if you want us to do it, no problem. We got you covered. Check us out, artscateringdc.co. Thanks for joining us today.